$10 million, a secret CIA project. No code name felt more unlikely until a cat became the agency's most daring listening device. Let's peel back the classified files on Acoustic Kitty and discover how biology outplayed black budget technology in the Cold War's quietest battlefield. Georgetown, Washington, D.C., 1965. A plain gray van hums at the curb. Inside, reel-to-reel recorders wait. At the handler's feet, a sweet, purring kitty. Eyes bright, tail tipped with a wire. Project code name, Acoustic Kitty. A match head microphone nestles behind her ear. The door creaks, a secret word, para, it's time. 5 minutes later, the agency will discover the one flaw no budget line predicted: curiosity. Open the folder marked Project 14-567. On the first page, line item Acoustic Kitty. Estimated cost $10,081,725. The year is 1961. John F. Kennedy hasn't taken the oath yet, but inside the CIA Technical Services, the Cold War is already a frantic chess match. Page 2 lists the players: Dr. Marshall Chadwell, Deputy Director for Research; John K. Lavelle, Project Engineer; and a soft-spoken animal behaviorist named Dr. Bob Norton, who once trained dolphins for the Navy. The objective, verbatim, to employ a live domesticated feline as a platform for clandestine audio collection in open-air target environments that defeat standard parabolic equipment. Translation: turn a house cat into a roving microphone that no KGB bodyguard would ever frisk. How? A bone-conduction pickup, smaller than a shirt button, slips under the left ear flap. A lithium cell, barely larger than a AAA battery, rides just behind the shoulder blade. The tail, a 5-inch flexible whip antenna, painted gray to blend with the fur. The range in laboratory tests, 100 feet, provided the cat sat still. Early trials looked promising. Engineers recorded a whisper at 40 paces. The sound in the van was tinny, but clear enough to pick out consonants. Yet, technology wasn't the hardest part. Cats, unlike dogs, refused to trade their curiosity for obedience. Over 42 training sessions, Dr. Norton rewarded a single behavior: walk 10 meters in a straight line, stop, sit, wait. Success rate? 57%, barely a coin toss. Still, by the spring of 1965, the team believed they had a workable prototype. They logged their final calibration on May 28th. Subject audio fidelity acceptable. Battery life 28 minutes, ready for field validation. And so, a cat with $1 million price tag took her place in the van, completely unaware she was about to make Cold War history. Search any trivia forum and you'll read the same punchline. The CIA's spy cat was released, took 3 steps, and splat, a taxi into the Cold War's furriest mission. It's funny, it's tragic, it's also completely made up. The rumor began in 1990 when a dinner party story relayed by a former agency tech leaked to a British tabloid. Editors crave a neat takeaway, and nothing seals off a covert operation quite like a comic finale. The gag wrote itself. $15 million flattened in 5 seconds. But here's the declassified Inspector General report, paragraph 4, line 2. Subject exhibited independent movement toward avian stimulus. No vehicular interaction observed. Independent movement, avian stimulus. That's bureaucratese for Kitty saw a bird and wandered off. Sensors in her harness tracked a graceful 42-second stroll, a crouch, and one hopeful pounce. The handler's heart-sinking but cat unharmed called the mission off. Picture the scene. Highly cleared technicians wearing $1,000 wristwatches reduced to jingling a food bowl and softly pleading, "Here, girl, national security, come back." No taxi, no tragedy, just proof that felines outrank black budgets every time a feather flutters. And the myth? It grew legs, 4 of them. Spy novelists quoted the rumor, late-night hosts recycled it, and a green splash of cartoon taxi tires became internet canon. Busting it matters not to exonerate the CIA, but to remember that truth is quieter than joke copy, tucked in a footnote nobody read until now. So let's shelve the taxi tale and follow something far more interesting, the science that tried to turn whiskers into microphones. Gadget folks, this is where the story gets delicious. Miniature electronics in 1965 were not in smartphones, they were in missiles. Yet technical services wanted a whole radio lab inside 7 pounds of feline curiosity. The microphone, a bone-conduction pickup modeled after World War II bomber headsets, pressed against the cat's skull. Bone carries vibration, no external hole, no telltale wire. The antenna, 6 inches of flexible nickel titanium, insulated, lacquered, then threaded through the tail skin with a veterinary needle. Painful? The memo says local anesthetic and a 10-day recovery, and the cat monitored for grooming. Now, the lab comparison. A parabolic dish is 3 feet wide and weighs 8 kilos. A spy cat, 8 pounds, and fits in a backpack. Range tests in a concrete corridor showed intelligible speech at 90 feet, if the cat pointed her tail at the target. Engineers joked they needed a laser pointer for diplomats. The real enemy wasn't volume, it was rustle. Fur brushing metal, spikes a static burst louder than speech. They tried grooming gel, the cat licked it off in seconds. And purring, oh, the purring. When the cat was happy, the meters pinned to red. One memo calls it unfiltered vibratory blanket, unusable for intel. After 6 iterations, battery life hit 28 minutes. Weight, 70 grams. Light enough that, according to Dr. Bob Norton, the subject appeared unconcerned and mobile. In any other lab, that would be a win. But Spycraft cares less about specs and more about mission behavior, something no soldering iron can tame. June 9th, 1965. Overcast, 72 degrees, cherry blossoms long gone. A perfect day for spycraft or bird watching, depending on species. The van parks opposite the embassy gate, Two Soviet trade diplomats chat on a bench, jackets off, coffee cups in hand. The handler cracks the door. Our heroine hops down, tail antenna swishing like a metronome. She walks 10 paces, recorders hiss, capturing the faint rumble of Russian vowels. 11th pace, a pigeon lands. Earpieces fill with sudden static, purrs, grass rustle, delighted trills. Mission controls calls abort. The cat, blissfully off script, goes after her new friend. The CIA's after-action note is almost affectionate. Subject displayed typical feline behavior inconsistent with intelligence requirements. No reprimands, no culprits, just a quiet acceptance that biology outruns budgets. What happened next? The final memo reads, "Equipment recovered, subject released from duty. Former staffers insist Acoustic Kitty spent retirement in a handler's suburban home, spoiled on tuna and warm laps. No longer a line item, just a loved pet." And honestly, in a decade packed with nuclear politics, spy planes shot from the sky, and walls climbing higher, a cat finding peace by a fireplace might be the sweetest intelligence victory of all. Still, the engineers couldn't resist one last attempt to capture whispers without fur. That brings us to a spy gadget you can build from your kitchen cupboard. Meet the $20 cousin of Acoustic Kitty. No training treats required. All you need is one stainless salad bowl, a cheap lavalier mic, and a piece of tape. Find the bowl's sweet spot, about 1/3 its depth, where your fingers' reflections cross. Tape the mic there, plug into headphones, and point at a ticking clock across the room. Hear that jump? Parabolas concentrate sound just like mirrors focus light. Lab tests show a 15 decibel boost, roughly the difference between a whisper and casual conversation. The CIA spent $15 million. You spent far, far less. And our retired operative approves, so long as the bowl also delivers snacks. Our Acoustic Kitty was neither the first nor the last animal drafted into espionage. Let's open the less famous pages of the CIA and DoD bestiary. 1942, Project X-ray, aka Bat Bomb. Dr. Little Adams proposed strapping tiny flammable capsules to hibernating Mexican free-tailed bats. Released over Japanese cities, they'd roost under wooden eaves, timing fuses flaming the urban core. In the New Mexico test hangar, one sleepy bat woke early. The hangar burned to the ground. Program cost $2 million. Combat attacks, 0. 1963. The Navy Cetacean Intelligence Mission. Bottlenose dolphins fitted with hydrophones and CO2 marker darts were trained to tag enemy divers on midnight intrusion runs. Dolphins excelled until mating season. Commanders noted a dramatic mission-critical drop in focus. 1973, CIA Project Takana. Ravens, natural city dwellers, rehearsed dead drops. They were to fly into a high-rise ledge, deliver microfilm, return for lunch. Success in training was 80%. The field test? The Ravens spotted a lunch cart and never came back. West German BND pigeon cameras, late 1970s. A Featherlight 8mm camera snapped one frame every 12 seconds. Photographs of Soviet shipyards looked like modern drone stills, if you ignored the occasional blurry worm the bird gulped mid-flight. See the pattern? Each project pushes smaller batteries, clever harnesses, and spotless cover stories. Each is foiled by nature's patch update: hunger, hormones, squirrels. The moral of the story: animals are brilliant at being animals, and no black budget lab, however clever, has yet debugged instinct. Behind the gee-whiz gadget sits a quieter conversation. Should we hijack living creatures for surveillance? In 1966, Senate staffer William Proxmire reviewed Acoustic Kitty expenses and scribbled a margin note: will taxpayers stomach feline implant surgery? That question seeded hearings which, a decade later, amended the U.S. Animal Welfare Act. Experimental animals now require anesthetic, vet oversight, and proof no simpler method exists. Today, a project like Acoustic Kitty would stall at ethical review long before a tail became an antenna. So engineers pivoted. DARPA's micro-air vehicle programs weld silicon wings onto microchips, not bone. A RoboFly weighs 1/30th of a gram, carries an HD camera, crushes data on board, and feels no fear when a hawk shadows overhead. A sober victory, perhaps: fewer stitches, fewer heartbeats risked. Yet technology cannot eavesdrop on everything. It can't hear the scrape of a tuna can or the sigh of a cat settling beside a fireplace. Acoustic Kitty never caught Soviet secrets, but she captured 1,000 smiles in the van, taught a roomful of analysts humility, and, if the rumors are kind, spent her final years purring louder than any microphone. Progress hums along, from whiskers to wires, from bones to bots. Let's hope empathy keeps pace. From Cold War dreams to living room nap, Operation Acoustic Kitty proves even spycraft bows to cat nature. If stories like this help you unwind, subscribe to Curious Soup TV for more calm, deep dive mysteries. A quick thumbs up lets the algorithm know other curious minds should find this tale, and sharing it with a friend keeps the bonfire burning past midnight. Keep the curiosity alive. I'll see you next time.